Hello, and welcome to the Undesirables Podcast, episode 6. I'm Amanda.
I'm Ryan. And today, we're going to be talking about the Harry Potter reunion show that dropped on January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided to do is we each, on our own time, just went and watched it, and we're here to talk about it. So, jump in. What are your overall thoughts?
It was too short.
I agree.
There was a lot of actors.
Mm-hmm.
There was all the movies,
Yeah.
behind the scenes. It wasn't enough time to go through all of it properly.
Uh-huh.
When they talked about something, they talked about it really quickly because they had so much to go
quick.
through.
It was so
right?
quick, yeah.
And then you finally get to this part. Oh, these two people are talking. I'm excited. And then it's like, oh, it's over.
Yeah, 100%.
The people that are watching it, you give them 4, 5, 6 hours, 3 different episodes, whatever. They're going to watch all of it.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
You know, I understand why they did an hour and a half, but we could have had more.
Yeah, and I just feel like as Harry Potter fans, because it's been so long, we already know a lot of this behind the scenes information anyways.
Yeah.
Because throughout the whole thing, nothing surprised me. At all.
You know, and it was nice seeing some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
But we already saw clips of Emma and Tom slapping each other's hands when they're little.
Yeah.
So showing more clips of that, it's oh, it's cute, but I already knew this.
Right.
Right? And then, of course, you only saw certain actors. The actor who played Quirrell was literally in it. He said, one line at the end, and you're just because there's so much.
Yeah.
And obviously the focus is going to be on the main trio. So I understand that. But because there was so many other people there, it would have been nice to have more of them.
Mm-hmm. And I know it was kind of it was a reunion, so it was kind of more of a celebration. It was more of a celebration of here's what we did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would have loved to hear everything.
Yeah,
so,
I
the whole
agree.
process, the good, the bad.
It
even
felt
the
more
ugly.
for the actors, which it probably was.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish it was more for us,
Yeah, I think it was, I think for the filming of it, I think they were just thinking, oh, we're all going to just meet up again. It's going to be a fun little thing we do.
And then, obviously, they had them separated because of, COVID, and you can't hear everyone talking over each other with their big groups. But you only saw them together, at the beginning when they're all coming into the Great Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, they weren't all there because, COVID, people are living different places, all that.
Yeah, 100%.
But it would have been nice to have more big group.
Yeah.
Right? You just, they're together, so it can't be the COVID issue because you had, Emma and Tom and Matt Lewis and the twins and Arthur Weasley and all of them together for that shot. But you never see all of them together talking.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, they can't use COVID as an excuse for that because they were all together anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and they were hugging. And it's and I don't even think I saw masks.
Well, no, I'm sure they had lots of testing.
Oh, for sure. They probably, everyone probably got tested. Yeah. So just, I would say I just wanted, more.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know.
That's how I felt at the end. I was it's over. I need more.
Yeah, honestly, because it's a lot of, I said, just a lot of stuff I already knew.
And there was so much build up that it felt like there should have been.
Yeah.
You can write in. Thanks, Seb.
Thanks, Seb. That was really nice of you. We got snacks. Dr. Pepper. Ryan got some root beer. What the fuck is that? Seb.
Well, you're not going to lick the top. Or you might.
Not anymore. Alright, whatever. It's a good thing I'm not eating anything with my hands. Oh, it's sticky. That sucks. Alright, that already looks like it was going to be a problem. Okay. I'm going to have to leave that for a second.
Okay, let's continue.
Alright, so. What were we? Just talking about it. Yeah, so, to be honest, there's not a whole lot that I liked.
I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I would have rather watched it than not watched it.
Sure.
But yeah, it wasn't what I was hoping. They sort of hyped it up to be like, the whole thing in the Great Hall with everyone. And
yeah,
it was just like
Harry Potter cast tells all. Like I kind of thought that's what it was gonna be.
Yeah.
Because it's really funny because like the funny stuff I wanted to hear was kind of like if you ever watched Daniel Radcliffe on Hot Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like he told a story about being on the Harry Potter set, and it was a little crude, but it was still really funny. So it's like I kind of wish that the maturity level of it maybe was a little bit higher because it did feel more like for kids.
I mean, it was HBO, which can have some
naughty stuff.
Yeah, it has more adult content on it, so that was a little
Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of looking for. I want to know because they're all adults now, right?
Yeah, and also they only talked about the good things.
Yeah.
I mean, they did talk about particularly Emma, Rupert, and Daniel talking about their sort of hard stuff they went through.
Kind of.
But it was very brief.
It was super brief.
They didn't talk about anything else. I understand maybe the J.K. Rowling backlash not talking about.
Yeah.
But like when...
she's on here.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you put her on here.
Bonnie was talking about... being Harry's love interest.
Yeah.
She didn't talk about any of the backlash that came with that.
No, yeah, because there was some serious backlash, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a bad thing to talk about. It would have been more interesting than just being like, oh, it's a lot of pressure and it was good. Right,
Oh, yeah. Just like college.
They didn't really talk about why they switched different directors or anything. You're just like, oh, this is a director and that's it. And there was no drama.
Yeah, well, the one thing I do know is why Chris Columbus stepped away. He just wanted to be with his family. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they got the guy from, what's his name?
Alfonso?
Yeah, Alfonso, yeah. I'm surprised Alfonso didn't do the rest of them because he did a really great job with Prisoner of Azkaban.
Well, speaking of the directors, I thought they did a really good job with, the director doing that movie justice in terms of Chris did make the first two, specifically the first one, more child-friendly and inviting. Welcome to the world of wizards, and it's all fun, and it gets a little dark at the end, but like not crazy.
Not really, no. It did get a little scary.
Yeah, and same with the second one, but it's still not like crazy.
If anything, the second one was slightly more mature because people were being attacked, right? So,
and then, the third one, it gets a little darker.
I think the tone.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The tone was darker,
like
but
it
was still pretty light at times, though.
And then I loved the fourth one, how it was light through most of it. Because, and they talked about it being like in their awkward teen years. Yeah. Because I was the same age, basically. Like a little younger when it came out. And so it was like very relatable.
Yeah.
And then, and at the end, obviously it gets pretty dark.
I think that's where before I wasn't too happy with the director. What's his name? Mike Newell?
Yeah, Mike Newell.
Mike Newell. I wasn't too happy with him before just because of his approach, like his attitude towards making the movie. But in the reunion, that he kind of redeemed him for me a little bit. He just said, it's this fun like movie with these cool things, and then at the end you realize it's a movie about death. Yeah.
And you do look back at the movie, and it is like the Triwizard Tournament. It's this huge event, and people are getting crazy, and it's fun, and it's like very theatrical. Yep. So it made sense watching it.
Yeah, and he's also a theater director too. So I'm literally that's what the producer said. Like, that's why he wanted him.
And then you've got David Yates for the last four.
Yeah, who killed it.
Yeah. Gets way darker. The characters are a lot older. Like, just looking back, the direction that each person went just fit really well, I feel like.
Yeah, and it also fit the time. Like the time and the story.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Chris Columbus did a really good job of keeping that lightheartedness because they were 11 and 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
and he knew how to deal with kids. Like, I could not imagine having that many 11, 12, 13-year-olds.
Dude,
all
yeah. It was
Matthew Lewis said, he was like, maybe these three people did their stuff, but what about all those kids in the background who were just goofing around?
Yeah, exactly.
And as someone with three boys, like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, like that's a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder where their parents were. Their parents had to be on set.
Oh, they were probably on set.
Oh, they were probably on set. They never talked about it though.
Yeah. That would have been interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So genuinely, like, I liked it. It wasn't great.
It wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Another thing is they only talked about the filming of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked to know more about their lives now.
Yeah.
You know, Rupert says like, oh, I had kidney stones or whatever and a baby. And it's like, that would have been like, yeah, tell me more about that. You got married or whatever. You had a baby or what?
Damn, this is using a lot of CPU. No, there might be a little bit of stuttering in this one. That sucks.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, it would have been nice to know more about their lives now, or even while they were filming. They didn't really talk about their lives.
Here, okay, this is going to be kind of annoying, but I'm going to do this, okay? There we go.
Yeah. They didn't really talk more about, like, their lives. They only talked about the actual filming. And if we're not finding out more info about the actual movies,
yeah,
then I would want to know more about them as actors during the filming, what was happening outside of filming. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Daniel Radcliffe never talked about his problems, right?
Yeah, I know. And it just felt very, I think
surface level.
Yeah, it was, yeah, that's the right term.
It was very surface level. Like, you go into one of the things I was looking most forward to, Tom and Emma.
Right.
Which they hyped up a lot in the previews.
I know. Actually,
hugging
I got a funny story about
smiling
that. Yeah.
and then dancing together. So you're like, oh, this is gonna be juicy.
Yeah.
So quick, we're just like, oh yeah, I liked her or I liked him, and she was like a sister, and then nothing happened, and that's it. And then like, like you see clips of them talking,
yeah,
but you don't actually see them talking. Or you don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything.
It's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely debated us.
Oh, for sure. Oh, dude. Like, so I was watching that because, like, I'm having, like, issues at home and stuff. So I was at my parents' house, and I was watching it with my dad. And then, I think my dad surprisingly got interested in it. It's because he watched the whole thing with me.
Yeah.
He's 59. It's, like, awesome. Anyways, so then when that part with Emma and Tom came up, I'm like when they were explaining, like, when they started loving each other, right? More importantly, when Emma was saying it, I'm like, oh, that's exactly what Amanda said, like almost verbatim.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's funny. And then I'm like, oh, here we go. And then all of a sudden I'm watching it, and then it's over, and I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm literally like, oh, Amanda's mad.
Yeah.
Like, I literally could feel you getting angry.
But then. Yeah, so...
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And then I started laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't know why.
It was, like, maybe if you weren't a fan of Hermione, you wouldn't have noticed it, but they definitely pushed it in the previews, only to have, like, literally a 2-minute clip. And then they're just like, oh, yeah, we don't actually, like, that's it. We just love each other, and that's it. And I was like, no.
I know.
This is a lie.
I know. I think the word of the day for this thing was surface level.
Yeah.
Or, words.
Yeah. But also, she talked about, oh, he drew a picture of God, and it was a girl with a backwards hat on a skateboard. And yes, we've seen the clip of Emma riding on the back of Tom's skateboard wearing a backwards cap. We know. We saw. We know what you did.
We know,
like,
we saw.
If she wasn't manifesting something there, like, something's fishy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something's fishy.
Something's fishy.
Yeah. I know. I mean, they're definitely playing on, like, these little tropes for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into this now?
Which one?
I kind of want to get into this. I want to see why you
J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, why you wrote that down.
I just wanted to know your take on her, like, their way of putting her in.
I know, because in our last episode,
I thought she wasn't going to be in it
we
at all.
thought we literally thought she wasn't going to be in it.
And they just said J.K. like an old pal, right?
Yeah, and
they're like, oh yeah, J.K. our bestie.
You know what's really funny though?
Mm-hmm.
They actually, for most of it, they actually tried to not say her name properly.
Mm-hmm.
They called her Jo Rowling.
Yeah.
Which is her name, I believe. I believe her real name's Jo.
Yeah.
Yeah. or like Josephine or some shit.
It's like Joanne or something.
Yeah, and so I found that kind of funny, like kind of goofy. I'm just like, oh, seriously? Like, okay, I see what you're doing here. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, I literally was just like, oh, she's in it. I'm like, what? But then also, it was an interview from 2019. So
the question is, was that interview released? Or was it like just footage that they already had that hadn't actually been released?
Well, I've watched a lot of J.K. Rowling interviews, actually. And I can't seem to remember if that was one.
Yeah, because if it was already released, then it's like, what's the point of even including it?
If it wasn't released?
If it was released. If that whole interview was already out there, because it's from 2 years ago or whatever.
Maybe they were just trying to play
devil's advocate.
No, not devil's advocate, but both sides. Like,
yeah.
Where, because there's, regardless of controversy, there was a small group of people with a loud voice saying, yes, but like she needs to be in it because she wrote it. She's the reason why everyone has a job. Mm-hmm. Like all these people have a job. And other people were like, no, don't bother, like whatever.
But the question is, did she provide any information that was new?
No.
Like she didn't really bring anything to it.
No, she was just kind of like, this world is like a world I created, and that was
and we had trouble finding Harry, and then there was Harry. And I was like, okay, and
yeah, she said, like, I cried when I saw him, and I'm like,
okay.
And you said this before,
like
and
this is not new information.
I'm like, you know, the funny part is she said that to Daniel Radcliffe because they interviewed each other for like a thing.
Yeah. I was a little confused on. This doesn't have to do with J.K. Rowling. I just remembered it. Chris Columbus said that he was the one who watched David Copperfield and saw Daniel. But from interviews I've seen
Wait. What do you mean? When they went to the theater to bug him?
No. He said he saw David Copperfield, the movie.
Oh, right.
And saw Daniel Radcliffe in it and was like, this is him. But from interviews I've seen, I think Daniel said that Maggie Smith, who played McGonagall, went to the director and said, you need to interview this guy. This kid.
Oh, really?
So when as soon as he said that, I was like, wait, I thought Maggie Smith was the one who found him.
Is Maggie Smith still with us, or is she gone?
I'm sure. Yeah, she's still with us. I think it was just COVID.
Oh, okay.
You know, she's
too
older.
Risky.
Yeah,
she's like 80.
No, I totally get why she wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
right?
okay. So,
but from what I've heard, I thought it was Maggie Smith. I haven't done any more research after that came out, but yeah.
Oh no, maybe I'm just not used to the frames. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, the whole J.K. Rowling thing is so annoying to me. Mm-hmm. Everything that went down there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, part of me's happy that she's included, but part of me doesn't care.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. If she brought new information, it would have been more like, oh, really?
I know, like,
but she didn't bring anything new, so it's kind of like, okay.
I know, and it's like if you wanted to, like, why didn't they just do like a new interview with her?
And then also, like, at least with the other people, even if they didn't provide new information, they still got to see each other and talk to each other, and they have their moments together. Mm. Whereas she wasn't obviously there. It was an old interview. Mm-hmm. So she didn't provide any new information, and she also didn't get to have those moments with the other actors.
True. But we talked about this in the last one. I don't think some of the actors wanted to interact with her,
I don't think so either.
So, like all the activists.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, at least the other people, if they didn't provide new information, they had moments where it was like, oh, it's nice to see them together.
Yeah, because, like, I would feel like if they were going to interview J.K. Rowling, they should have just did a new one. If they wanted to include her, they should have just did a new one and keep her separated, because there's obviously the talent, like, probably doesn't want to talk to her. Mm-hmm. But why doesn't she just, like, lay everything out? This is what my vision, this is my original vision for the story. That's what I want to hear from her. That's the only thing I want to hear. Yeah, and then she needs to stay off Twitter and then just go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
Anyways, let's continue.
Yeah.
Let's just do Weasley's versus the Malfoys was brought up.
Yep.
The juxtaposition between the two families, which is interesting because I've never compared the two.
No.
Whenever I do, it's like Malfoy versus Harry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, growing up, having a dad, not having parents, having Hagrid and Dumbledore and not having anyone sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've never actually compared the Weasleys to the Malfoys, I don't think. But it was interesting hearing Jason Isaacs talk about basically what I've said before. The reason Draco is such a little prick is because of his dad.
Yes.
Which I've said before. I've said, like, that's the reason he's like that.
Yeah. And they said that.
And they literally said, like, if you have a parent like that, obviously you're not going to be the greatest. Like,
yeah. They said that Draco Malfoy is a product
of his father, of his parents.
Yeah.
And even Tom said, like, if you have, like, Hagrid taking care of you, you're going to be completely different.
Yeah.
And Malfoy didn't really have a choice.
No, he didn't have a choice.
Right?
No, none of them have a choice.
Yeah,
right?
no,
In
but
the
I mean,
beginning, right?
like the way he acted later, like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting because it was just something I've never really compared.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty, in my opinion, kind of like it's cool to point out, but I think it's just a very simple thing to compare.
Yeah.
Because you got your Weasleys, you got your Malfoys.
Both pure bloods.
Both pure bloods. Both have different values as families, right?
But then also, what's interesting is that Percy is, I feel like, a little closer to the Malfoys.
A little bit.
Than, like, Ginny or Ron, right?
I think Percy just wanted to get into politics.
But also he did have a bit more of the pure blood beliefs.
Oh, he did?
When it came to, like, mudbloods and stuff.
He did?
Yeah,
I never saw that. No. I thought he just really wanted to do something in the ministry.
No, I think he had I think that was one of the issues they had with him.
I don't know. I would have to go back and read it. That was number 5 when they had their falling out.
I don't remember. I'd have to,
Yeah, it was number 5. It was number 5 when they had their falling out. I think it was around Christmas time.
Oh.
Because... Oh, it was number 4. Because Barty Crouch was being manipulated and then it bled into number 5, and then I think number 5 is when they had their falling out. But I think for Percy, and my take is just, I think his goal was to be Minister of Magic, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So I think he was just trying to do anything he could to climb the ranks
maybe
as fast as he could.
Maybe he didn't have those beliefs, but the ministry did have more of those beliefs.
Yeah, so he was trying to
and I'm sure Arthur having to see him act that way was kind of like, that's not what we believe in.
Yeah, which was gross.
Yeah.
It was like, that's not how I raised you, you know?
Another interesting point that was brought up was Alan Rickman knowing his character's development.
Yeah, he was told in the first movie.
Yeah, it was like right at the beginning. And because it was Gary Oldman who brought up, it would have been nice to know, and it would have been interesting.
Yeah, I like that clip actually. That's one of the
it would have been interesting seeing how they played their characters differently if they had known, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna call her HBC.
Yeah.
Even J.K. Rowling told her, like, listen, like, it may not seem like much, but you're gonna do something significant later.
Yeah.
So, oh no. Yeah.
I think it's good that they didn't tell Dan, obviously, because his character doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't need to know.
Whereas Snape's character knows. It's about him. He knows, right?
Snape needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like how they would say, like, oh, he would act a certain way, and the director would be like, why are you doing that? And he's like, oh, you'll find out. I'll tell you later. Like, you'll figure it out.
I know. Well, because it was so fitting, because when Harry got to Hogwarts, I liked when Snape was gawking at him right in the beginning, right? Like, it cut to Snape, like, looking at him, like, oh. Like, because, like, you never know, because he could see his eyes and be like, oh, damn.
Yeah, and then you think, because he touches his scar because it's burning, and you're like, oh, my God, it's Snape. But when it's actually Quirrell who's facing the other direction, so Voldemort is actually facing him. So his scar isn't burning because Snape's looking at him. It's because Voldemort's right there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But you don't know that. That's cool.
I know. Yeah, it is kind of cool to think about. Yeah, they did a lot of cool things in that first movie. There's like a lot of cool background things with Quirrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then which is kind of funny, and it's kind of creepy to know that whenever Quirrell is wearing his turban, that he has Voldemort with him.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, well, because in the book, when Harry first met him, Harry actually shook his hand.
But I don't think he had Voldemort on him.
He didn't. He wasn't wearing the turban.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he didn't have him on him. He had already met him and everything, and brought him back, but he didn't have him attached to him yet.
Yeah. It was after the bank tried to get robbed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. What else do we got here?
HBC and Harry. I thought that was. You thought it was weird. I thought it was very sweet. Weird.
I thought it was awesome. I thought I just thought they want to fuck each other.
You said they probably did.
Yeah, they probably did.
I thought it was really sweet their
I know.
Their relationship and how excited they were to see each other, and they had like, because at that point,
I love HBC though. She
seems
like a
she's
nice
great.
Lady. Yeah.
He's like 16 or something, so he's feeling like an adult, right?
Yeah.
And she treats him like him. You can tell the way she's talking to him that she sees him as an adult. Well, I mean, obviously he is now.
Yeah.
But
I
even
mean, when during the filming of it.
Yeah, when you're 16 and stuff, especially because most of the other people that are there have been there since you were 11 and 12, and they treat you, even though you're growing up. But meeting someone right when they're older or in that phase, I thought it was a really nice relationship they had.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was good. I just liked her personality. It turns out she's like very like you can kind of see that she's a little quirky.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, she was married to Tim Burton, so
yeah, and he's super quirky. Yeah. So, and also she's like this like insane method actor too, which I also really like. Like I really like method actors who do it in a nice creative way. Excuse me. In a nice creative way. Instead of, because sometimes people will go just uberly insane, crazy. Yeah. Like, I know it's kind of off topic, but when I think of method actors, like where it kind of went wrong was Heath Ledger.
Oh, I was thinking the Joker, not that Joker.
I was about to say, I'm like, excuse me.
I was thinking,
Jack
what's
Nicholson?
his name? No.
Jared Leto.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because for Heath Ledger, he literally like went into this very bad mindset, which Joker has.
I'm pretty sure he was already doing drugs before that.
100%, 100%. But I feel like maybe this is just kind of a theory. Like maybe that accelerated the badness, which resulted in him leaving us. But yeah, but whatever. But with her, what I like about her is her method acting is actually really nice. Because when she obviously, like, it was Hermione transformed as Bellatrix when they infiltrated Gringotts.
Yeah.
And they didn't bring this up in the fucking reunion, which I wish they did. And, just a little bit more detail about it, where she literally took Emma Watson out to dinner to get to know her and, like, what do you like?
Her mannerisms.
Her mannerisms, kind of pay attention to how Emma Watson is as a person, because she's Hermione, right?
Yeah.
So... And you know what? I think she did a great job. Yeah. Like you could see it on Bellatrix's face. Yeah, that's Hermione in there.
Yeah. Well, and then also they brought up too the actors basically being their characters.
Oh yeah.
Like and Hermione or Emma was Hermione. Rupert was Ron.
Yeah.
And so it made it really easy for them, because we never talk about them being not the characters. They are the characters, right? When like Emma is Hermione, right?
Yeah.
And I love how they're talking about the homework. It's like, oh yeah, Emma wrote like 12 pages and Daniel did like 2 pages.
And Rupert didn't write a single one.
Like just straight Ron.
Yeah, he goes.
He probably didn't even think about it at first. And then when they're like, where's your assignment? He's just like, Ron wouldn't do it. They're just like, yeah.
I love how even now he's trying to play it off. Like he goes, oh no, I had that idea the whole time. I'm like, no, you didn't. You just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
That was like what? That was 13. Yeah, that was the third book, the third movie that they did that. So, and I'm like, dude, you're 13 years old. You're fucking making all this money. Like, you probably just didn't want to do it. So,
I mean, I wouldn't want to do it.
I wouldn't.
But I'm not Hermione. So.
I wouldn't do it. And then because what are you gonna do? Fire me? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't care enough to do it. And
also, that's just so in character that it's like, you can't even get mad at him. You're like, okay. Yeah,
that is true. It is in character.
Or else he would have just got Emma to write it. Can you just write a couple pages for me?
That's true, though. Hermione did their homework a lot.
Yeah.
And Yeah, that part was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What who would you have liked to see either that wasn't in it or that didn't really get a lot of talking time together or at all?
You know what? I would love to see a beautiful, like a nice long conversation between Ralph Fiennes and Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
No, they didn't. They should have, because and like, oh dude, Ralph Fiennes wasn't even in it that much. And
Yeah.
Voldemort's one of my favorite characters from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
In like a twisted type of way, but I just like dark characters. And like to kind of like I would love to see like how they would interact with each other, because especially because Ralph Fiennes, like he really put a lot of thought into playing Voldemort.
Yeah.
And I would love for him to kind of talk about that with Daniel Radcliffe, and then to hear what Dan had to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they even said, like, you know, he had a nose and he had stickers all over his face, but when he got into character, like, even if he didn't look like Lord Voldemort, you were still scared.
Oh yeah, like
there's that scene at the end when they call Draco over, and he goes to hug him, which apparently was unscripted.
Unscripted, yeah.
Which is why he's like so weirded out, but he's also already scared of him, so it's like so in character.
I know. And then just like the little details about the hug itself, like Voldemort is a character incapable of love. Yeah. So he doesn't know how to show affection like
he's
that.
He's just like,
It was so awkward. He was all contorted, like his arms were all weird, and like God, like what a genius. Yeah. Genius play on that one. Like I truly appreciate Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort. Yeah. And then
I would have, as I already said, seen the conversation between Emma and Tom. You didn't have any Emma and Daniel alone.
No,
I don't think he was there. Either he wasn't there or Rupert. I think
there was 2 sessions with Emma and Rupert.
Yeah.
There was one with Dan and without.
No.
Dan.
I think the 3 of them weren't actually all together. I don't know.
You don't think?
No, I'm pretty sure something said that they weren't all together.
Like even in the shot with all 3 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, was that just placed in?
Yeah, I think someone was placed in. I don't know if it was Rupert or if it was Dan.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't see them all in the Great Hall.
No,
you only see Emma with them. Right?
Oh, that's dumb.
We obviously know that she's together with Rupert in that shot of the 2 of them, but maybe that wasn't filmed the same time. Right?
No,
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was probably filmed like at different times.
So I think Rupert was placed in, and it was actually just Emma. I wonder
how busy Daniel Radcliffe is now.
I don't know, but I mean, Rupert has a baby and stuff, so I'm sure he was busy too, so he couldn't make it to the.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I would have liked to seen maybe a little more from like the actor who played Dean.
That would be cool.
Because it would have been nice to know, like, him and Neville, how they dealt with the paparazzi and all that sort of stuff. Because obviously it would have been crazy for Emma, Ron, and Daniel. But what about like those smaller characters? Did it like sorry, Rupert? I mean, he's Ron. The smaller characters like Seamus and Dean and stuff. If it like exploded the same way, or same with Neville, did it explode at the beginning, or maybe when he got more attractive? Well, right.
Right. I feel like for the guy who played Dean. Oh, sorry, I don't know your name, but Dean in the movies, especially, he was such a small character, like very small. Like someone here and there could be like, "Oh, were you in a movie?" Like,
yeah, it would have been interesting to see, like, or to hear him.
Because I know if we would, because I know for a fact if I would have walked past the guy, I would be like, "Holy crap, you were in Harry Potter, weren't you?"
Yeah.
Right. But I feel like just a general public, like he probably didn't have. I feel like his time was a lot easier. Like he could probably still go to Walmart without shutting it down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then Daniel Radcliffe. My God. You know, as we talk about actors and stuff, can I just say, like, I really hate the paparazzi now.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Dude. Like, if I ever meet someone famous, I don't even think I'm going to take a picture with them.
Yeah, you definitely have to, like, ask him if it was okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
because
that's,
Daniel Radcliffe dealt with a lot of bullshit.
Well, he's even said in interviews before, he dealt with it bad, but also if he dealt it with it bad, like imagine what Emma had to go through.
100%.
Because there's that shot of her on her 18th birthday, because they did countdowns to when she turned 18.
Really?
Which is really gross. And there's a shot of her like getting into her car, and you can see up her dress.
Oh.
And it's like, it's just a young girl. Like,
I know. That's happened to so many actresses now. It's insane.
Yeah, well, they don't really do it anymore because it just wouldn't fly.
No, it doesn't fly anymore.
Right?
Because
but back then, it was like...
You can totally get sued.
Yeah, but also people are realizing, hey, this is gross.
It is gross.
And back then, you were just like, ooh, you can skip Britney Spears' skirt?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's fine. That's fine that these people are being harassed.
I know.
So, yeah, it's bad.
I know, and just again, I'm going off topic a little bit here, but that happened to Anne Hathaway. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I mean, props to her for really calling that one out. She was in an interview and she said, like, they just asked her straight up about it. I mean, sometimes interviewers are real pricks too.
Oh, they are.
You know what I mean?
And same thing as back in the day, they could just say whatever, and they made people so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And people would be like, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. And you're like, why is this person being such a bitch? And
I know.
It's like, no, the interviewer is being rude and asking questions that they're not allowed to ask.
I know, but Anne Hathaway handled that like such a boss. She was just like, you know, like, it happened, and I really wish the person that had that photo just was a decent person and just deleted it.
Yeah.
You're like, they knew I didn't want that out there. Like, they had to know, but they still did it anyways. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Well, it's like when Britney Spears went crazy and she's like trying to see her kids, and these people are standing outside like her ex-husband's house, like harassing her, like, why don't you have your kids, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, she's going to snap.
Yeah.
And then she snaps and you're like, oh my God, she's crazy. And it's like, you made her that way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Paparazzi crazy.
I know, but I love some of the stories that Dan told about his counters to it. Like, someone made him a jacket.
Oh, and he just wore it every single day.
Yeah, he wore the same outfit every single day.
Yeah.
And then, but there was another one where he had this like cool like jacket hoodie thing that someone made for him, where the material was like super reflective, so it would blow out a camera, and it would literally just make the camera look all white.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, that's probably what led into Emma Watson wanting to walk away.
Yeah, no, especially her just being harassed, being like the only girl. They're like, "Oh, are you sleeping with him? Are you sleeping with him?" And she's like, "I'm 14." Like,
yeah, dude, it's just gross.
Yeah,
because it's like,
especially that whole after the 4th movie came out, and they're like, "Oh, look, she's hot now," and it's like,
yeah, which kind
of
little
girl.
I know, she was literally like 14 to 15 years old in that moment. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, because I know I had that reaction, but I was also like fucking. I was 7.
I know, but you're also a young boy when that comes out. These were like grown adults.
Yeah, these were grown adults saying that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not cool. You know, oh my God, there's so many examples of her. Yeah, she did really get the short end of the stick on that.
Yeah.
One. Because, like, all these, like, things are popping into my head. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, no kidding.
Well, yeah, that's what he said in an interview. He said, like, people kept saying, oh, you're not a conventional lead, which is he was having trouble getting jobs after Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, well, why? After, like, a while of people saying that. And they're like, well, you know, people saw you grow up, and it's hard to see you in sort of like a romantic, sexual way.
I saw that interview. Yeah, I saw that interview.
And he's like, people didn't have a problem sexualizing Emma.
Yep.
And she was in the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like, I'm glad he like calls shit like that out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and a cool thing about Daniel Radcliffe, too, is that he's not trying to... He literally does a project that he wants to do. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about the budget. He doesn't care about the pay.
Yeah. I mean, he made his money. He's good.
Yeah, exactly. He'll literally just do it. Like when he did, he's done like Broadway plays. He's done like just these like very low budget.
Horns and.
Did you say porn?
Horns.
Horns. Well, Horns was a little bit higher budget, I would feel, because that was a good movie actually.
What is that one where he literally just has guns for hands or something?
No, I can't remember that one. I remember when he played a dead guy. Mm-hmm. That was pretty funny.
That
was a low budget movie.
I really like that one moment where he's talking to Chris Columbus, and Chris is like, there's that one scene where he said, we're not really leaving, or we're not, this is home, or whatever he says, right? And he said, I tear up every time. I think this kid is such like a great actor. And you can tell Daniel's like getting emotional. He's just like,
you damn right.
Like, oh, so sweet.
It's crazy. Jesus. Anyways,
what else is there? Oh wait, we were still talking about people you would have liked to see.
Oh yeah, we went on a tangent.
Obviously, Maggie Smith, but these some of them are older, so I totally understand why they wouldn't want to go in the middle of COVID, right?
Did this? I forget. Did the second guy who played Dumbledore, is he gone?
No, he's still there.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's probably COVID related too.
It has to, just because they're old. They're so old now. Yeah.
Michael Gambon? Is that who it is? Michael Gambon?
Who he played? Who
Dumbledore?
did he play? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, that just reminded me of.
And then Richard Harris played the first.
Yeah.
One. Yeah.
When it's like being the characters, the twins specifically.
Yeah.
Like just being the characters, and how Rupert said that one time when they were learning how to dance.
Yeah, and they're just
ribbing
like, him. Yeah.
Or no, they're like, you got the routine memorized, right? Rupert's like, what?
He's like, what?
It's like, so
oh,
good.
God. Like, truly, truly Fred and George.
Fred and George, yeah. Well, you've seen it in interviews where they're like, so are you guys like actually twins? And like, no, we actually just met at the thing.
That's great. What else? We also like, so I'm okay with Mike Newell. I want Tom and Emma to just get married.
True.
Oh yeah, so Tom and Emma. Come on, guys. Do it. Anyways. And don't do it because you want to. Do it because we told you to. Anyways.
Oh, you know what would be great?
What?
Tom and Emma.
Yeah.
Going on live on like Tom's Instagram, because Tom loves going on live.
Yeah.
And just reading some Hermione fanfics together. She says the parts, he says the parts.
Oh,
right?
that'd be fucking hilarious.
And then you can have like Daniel or someone being like the narrator. That would be great.
We're doing it.
That would be so good.
We're doing
I'll
it.
narrate. And then you guys can.
We're 100%
no.
doing it.
Ryan will narrate.
Why?
Tom will be Tom, or Tom will be Draco,
and
I'll be Hermione.
I know. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. We have to do it now.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. The In Memoriam was nice.
Yeah, that was sad.
It was
There
sad,
was a lot of people I didn't know that were on now.
Yeah, I only knew Richard Harris, Alan Rickman.
Yeah, those are
Helena, who played Narcissa Malfoy.
Yeah, that was the saddest one to me.
Yeah, well, when Tom's talking about it, her being like a nice.
Yeah. Oh, he was getting choked up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, no, because she did, like, even though she didn't have a lot of screen time, she still did a fantastic job.
I mean, she's the reason Harry was able to defeat Voldemort, right?
Yeah, man.
She lied for her son, and that saved the day.
Yeah,
if anyone else had gone over to check if he was alive, like, that would be it.
It would be it, yeah.
But
and then,
yeah.
And also, like, she, what did she do? She was just great.
Yeah.
I just loved it.
She just pieced out with Draco when things got tough.
I mean, if you really think about it, the love for her son is what won them the war.
Exactly.
So love still won.
Yeah. Love saved Harry more than one time.
Yes. It was a love for another mother's son,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Symbolism. I love it.
Yeah, so that was sweet.
Yeah, that sucks that she's
the
gone
guy who
now.
played Ollivander.
Yeah, but he was an old fart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that was all I really knew. Oh, the guy who played what's his name? Troy. The guy who played the guy who played one of the goblins in the first movie.
Oh.
Minimi.
Oh, Vern Troyer?
Yeah.
He's dead?
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he played, was it Griphook in the first movie?
Yeah, he played Griphook, but he was voiced by something Warwick.
No, he played him the rest of the time.
Yeah, Warwick Davis, I think his name is.
He played Griphook the rest of the time.
Yeah, but he voiced him in the first one.
Yeah.
And when it was Vern Troyer in the Griphook makeup, and then
but then in the rest it was actually him.
Because they were super stickler on having American actors. Like they wanted it all European actors for some reason, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, it's in like Scotland, so it makes sense.
Yeah, that was like J.K. Rowling's stipulation for the movies being made.
Yeah, well, I think it makes more sense because they all have British accents, and then you have an American coming in with a fake British accent, like.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you've got Cho with her Scottish accent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then you got Robert Pattinson with his British accent.
We should have had Robert Pattinson on there.
Where was he? Yeah,
I know, and just been like, I fucking love Cedric.
Miss him already.
Yeah.
And not to mention too, I mean, like, because they, you know, it's funny, they even mentioned The Cursed Child. I just realized that they mentioned the play. They didn't mention
briefly,
it super briefly.
Yeah.
But like Cedric's like character was like kind of the whole reason why that play was made, because that line "kill the spare" was basically the biggest point in The Cursed Child.
Yeah. They should have done 8 episodes. No, 9 episodes.
Yeah.
No, 10 episodes. Sorry. The first one is just like everyone gets together and they
It's
like see
happy.
each other for the first time, and then
The
next 8 episodes go through every single movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then the final episode is just like a wrap up and any like information that they didn't talk about and that doesn't have to do with the movies, because obviously I'm sure they could get it all done.
Yeah.
But real missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's for this whole reunion show. I think that's what it was. It was just the biggest missed opportunity in the Potterverse. I think we'll probably do it better. We're gonna do it better.
Yeah, like when I went on to Tumblr after, people were like,
"Were people not
where
happy?
is the Tom Emma action?"
Yeah,
because that's all. When I go onto Tumblr, before it came out, it was just clips of Tom and Emma from the little previews being like, wow, we're going to get so much information. There's going to be so many fanfics after this. And then they were just like, well, we saw it all in the previews. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, it was I hate to say this. Like, there were some cool moments. There were some nice emotional moments. At the end of the day, feels forgettable.
Yeah, it was definitely more of like, the actors haven't seen each other in a long time and they're getting together, and it was a little emotional for them.
Yeah.
But for us, it didn't give us anything. It didn't do much for us.
No, it didn't. It really didn't feel like, and I mean, like, this is kind of like a selfish way of thinking, but it just didn't feel like it was for the fans.
No, it definitely felt like it was for the actors.
Yeah.
That's why I would have liked a bigger breakdown of, like, you know, they go through the entire movie where they're like, this scene was really cool because of this and this, and I loved Alan Rickman's acting right here, and I was actually really scared to shoot this part, and just go through the whole movie.
Yeah, like, why not? Because there's a lot of cool moments, like when Harry was like in the water in this fourth one, like he almost like he gave, it was funny, he gave like the wrong hand signal, and he gave the one that he was dying. So they ripped him out of the water, like really quick, and he was like, "What?" Because I think he was trying to say like, "I'm okay." Yeah. But then he did the wrong thing, and they ripped him out of the water. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, and there's so many like little things, like how Alfonso in the third movie got them to dress themselves, right? Put on their own robes and stuff. Yeah. And so they were a lot more authentic in that.
Oh, yeah, that was a cool, nice touch.
Yeah, because in the first 2 movies, obviously they're really excited. They're wearing their stuff all properly. They're new little students. Yeah. And then by the third one, they're like, we're getting to be teenagers. And like, my tie's not all the way done up. And I'm not even wearing a jumper and stuff like that. And I would have just even like talking about that for 2 seconds for people who didn't see that. To just be like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I already knew that. But like, anyone else who didn't know that would be a little cool tidbit to notice, that like, oh, they are dressed more maturely because they're dressing themselves and they're not little 11-year-olds excited for everything.
And, exactly. You know. They're a little bit more accustomed.
Yeah. And then they like talked about how there wasn't like CGI with the candles and stuff, right? But they didn't mention the CGI of the troll.
I wish they showed the clip where the candle actually broke because they said it burned through the rope. Like, I just want to know that stuff, and
exactly.
they didn't talk about that stuff enough.
Yeah,
that's so annoying. It's like, come on, man. So
yeah, there was so much they could have just, like, even if they just watched the movie and did commentary over it. Like, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
but like every single character, I want every single character. I want, when Dean's on screen, I want the actor who plays Dean to be like, yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
not
like,
just the directors.
Yeah, and it was a cool ride for me at times because like I one day want to make my own movie, and it was really cool to just kind of hear about the process of making a movie like that.
Yeah,
because I would love to work on something like that one day, right? And but that it scratched that itch like so quick where I'm like, oh, that was like kind of whatever. Because like I think the most I got out of it was from Chris Columbus, because he still sounds so passionate about it.
Yeah.
And everyone else was kind of like, oh, yeah, it was like a fun thing I did. Yeah. But
and also hearing, it would have been cool to hear why Alfonso changed the wands from the first two to new wands. And how he decided what each wand would look like, sort of thing, right?
Very true.
Just that little small stuff. Like, if they went through the movie and they were just like, hey, this is the first time you see Harry's wand close up and his new thing, and I decided to do that because of this. And
like just take us through your process. Like that's
they just didn't have enough time.
You know what I mean?
We need more.
Yeah, it's more. just more now.
Yeah.
Now, please. Yeah, absolutely correct. So, the reunion show gets a 6 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, I'd say about 6 out of 10.
Because it was still cool, but
it was nice to see everyone have their little emotional moments.
I know, I'm gonna cry.
Find out that Rupert Grint isn't actually in love with Emma, which is great because we know that Emma and Tom are in love with each other. But like,
right? Yeah, you can tell why episode 4 was our most favorite episode.
I just keep going back to it. Yeah, I love Daniel's face when Emma was like, and the kiss between us was just horrifying.
He's like, oh, really?
He's like, I'm sorry, Rupert. Like, jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I love his interpretation of it, too. He goes, she was just like, yeah, I'm the one that had to, like really push the situation. And then he was just like, all I saw was your face coming at my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's great. So, I don't know, man. Like, anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll just interview each cast member and then we'll do our own thing.
Yeah, ask our own questions and really get the nitty gritty of it.
I know, but that's when you get an email from a publicist saying, hey, can we not include that part? I'm like, oh, really? Because I just put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also, like, now that I think about it, that's probably another thing. Like, there's probably a lot of their publicists that are like, don't say that, right?
But I mean, it would have, like, there's some stuff like Bonnie just talking about, like, oh, it was really hard because people didn't like my interpretation of Ginny.
Yeah.
And it was tough, but she didn't really say any of that.
No,
like,
it was all just nothing but good times, which I get, but it's like,
yeah, it would have been nice to know the hard stuff, right?
It's like
it makes
you
seem
lie to us, guys.
More 3-dimensional and not just like this flat 2D character was like, yeah, it was great. Oh
yeah. That's what it felt like. It's like the whole thing was just like, yep, it was great, and like really just great. That's it. You know what I mean? It's like, I know, because you got to go like outside of this stuff to find out the information. And I mean, like, but then again, they are actual people, and if they don't want to share, they don't want to share, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But as a fan, I'm like, I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think we can end it on that? Okay. So yeah, reunion show. But
it happened.
It happened. It was a fun ride.
It's just sad that because that was a reunion, there's probably not going to be anything for quite a while.
There's gonna be like no new content
Then,
except
yeah.
for the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Mm-hmm.
But we can make podcasts on those.
Mm-hmm.
So like we can do like actual movie reviews. So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. You'll have to rewatch them all.
I'll have to rewatch the first two
Yeah.
Fantastic Beasts movies. I like the first one. Second one was a little bruh, but
It was good. It just wasn't. The
Yeah.
first one was good. Yeah.
the first one was really good.
Yeah.
Second one I didn't care for.
Mm-hmm.
But well, we'll get into it. When I think maybe what we should do is for when Secrets of Dumbledore comes out, we should make a review for
Each one.
each one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we haven't talked too much into
Fantastic
depth
Beasts.
about. Yeah, we only really talked about the main core group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not
Okay.
my Newt Scamander.
yeah, why not? And I like Newt Scamander, and I like the guy who plays him. He's really, it's all.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, it's great. Okay, let's end it then. All right.
Have
Goodbye.
a good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Take it easy. We got links, comment, like, everything. Spread this around. I want to get 1 million views. Okay? Do it. Make it happen. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's get going, I hope you ready and listening. Don't matter what you reppin', Gryffindor for Slytherin, Ravenclaw or Hufflepuff, really it's undeniable. The podcast you need is the Undesirables. Join the conversation, I know that you wanna, especially if you're a big fan of Harry Potter. Ryan and Amanda, Potterheads, where you at? This is the Undesirables Podcast. Hey.